All right, and a very good evening to you people out there. It is I, it is the Warrior Junior. I had to adjust the camera because I don't want you to see anything. I was gonna make a joke and say, no, that cost extra. Like it's what's that OnlyFans, that nonsense. The women, those napkins we call them in Yiddish. Those they need extra money. So what they do is they have like their Instagram. They say, "Oh, go to my OnlyFans page," and in the OnlyFans, that's where I guess what's that other one that Chabberbait Chabber. I heard about this nonsense. Chabberbait, you pay, and it's like you see them or they don't. I don't know if they see you or whatever, and they a virtual get off thing, but you have to pay. Like it's it's like so stupid, like to me, unless it's like the real thing, you get to meet somebody over the stupid, over the internet. It's like you might as well watch for free and watch porn. And when I was a kid, I remember the 976 numbers. That was so. I remember. I'll tell you a funny story. Or 900, but it was 976 was the original, but then it became like 1-900. So they had a thing like, oh, try for free, try for free. So minutes. So I called up and you hear this woman, she talks like, it's like, oh, so what are you thinking you're gonna do? And I'm thinking to myself like, well, I don't know what the hell does that mean? It's like, oh, get comfortable. And I was like, what? It's just, I am comfortable. It's so stupid. There's a nonsense, bullshit. I just, a different time, man, different, innocent, growing up. And say, if you go back even further, like back then, like I played my ass off because I was watching some highlights of WWE, and like Christian came out, and used to be like the Captain Charisma, and I remember he used to go like my peeps, that my friends out in the audience, the peeps. So like I remember he gets this thing called the peep show. It's funny. The peep show. Like it's funny. Like I guess back in the whatever in the depression times of those theaters, they'd have those things like the peep show. You go see like these women. It's like they put on a show for you, a peep show. It's so stupid. I know it's just because you don't have that kind of shit. But I remember one time, maybe like 15 or 20 years ago, Triple X movie theater, but they had a stage, and I remember like for some reason, all this guy's like my uncle, all these people, like we all went to see this. He said, "Where can we go?" And I mentioned this place. I never been there, and they were like, "Oh, okay, let's go check it out. Let's go, I'll go check it out together." So we were, and it was like a triple X show, and then at the end, some woman got on stage with the hairiest pussy. My friend goes, "That's the hairiest punya I've ever seen." I'm sorry, laughing about it now. It's like, and they kind of like, I remember, these guys told me, they go, "What? How do you find this place?" And I said, "Ah, it's, it was that was all in good fun though." But that was hold on. That's funny. It's just a funny, you just don't. It's an OG term, peep show. Peep show. You don't have that kind of shit. Rarely, you got to search, but like Betty Page or something like that. I don't think she's alive anymore, but I heard when she got older, she wanted to be remembered for what she looked like when she was young. She was like a recluse. I heard like a hermit or something out near the outskirts of like San Francisco. So she did not want to be, seen. I remember I researched some of those women. They used to make Mondo DVDs. Mondo's company, I think it was called, and they made like they would see women like Tempest Storm, Betty Page, and boy, let me tell you, those women, boy, they were, you know, really something. those women got really old and they became kind of like legends, but they don't look like nothing like they used to. They gained a lot of weight, they got old. So what happens? Youth women, it's there's no way. You know, the age gracefully thing is very, very, with women, especially on camera. Um, they're looking their best. They got the best hair and makeup people on them too, and they're already beautiful. So it's like boom. I remember I think I saw a thing with and I'll lead into the topic, but I like talking whatever I feel like. By the way, I've got my chai spice tea with this special ingredient, a little bit of it in there anyway. So what was? Oh yeah, not Sophia Loren. It was Raquel Welch. Raquel Welch. She showed up on Craig Ferguson, maybe I don't know 7 years ago or something like that. And I don't know, it might have been 70, but wow. I mean, yeah, no, it was fucking nice. A little bit heavier, of course, but the hair, the dress she was wearing, and it was, you know, you're not looking better than that at that age. It's impossible. That's um, and you could tell. I don't know. She just didn't look like a lot of fakeness. Like some women get all the plastic surgery. I remember like Phyllis Diller or something that was like ridiculous. But um, Cher, I never thought she was attractive anyway to begin with. Even when she was young. So I guess she's another one of those that can't, like 70 something years old or 80 or whatever. Like I just, of course you had to have work done to look like that. Like skin tightening or whatever. I don't know. But the thing is, yeah, that Raquel Welch, man, when she came out there on that Craig Ferguson, I was like, whoa, Jesus, yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, it's a very rare, probably, because they're her, the look. She was never regarded, for her ability. Just it was just her presence that was just like, she's no Meryl Streep or who's that other one that was I never cared for, a woman from Jodie Foster. Raquel Welch is known for just the bombshell boom. The presence, the you know bam, being there. And to me, you look at her in Fantastic Voyage or some other things, it was like this, Jesus, like wow, that's really what I would think. I mean, to me, there's like no comparison between that and like these Victoria's Secret models that are just like generic to me, women in very good shape kind of thing, or whatever. They're just skinny and they're young. Or, I don't. They're not. They don't have that wow, you know, that Jesus, I don't know. Like to me, they just don't. And just even like a lot of these fitness models, these women that compete in the bodybuilding and stuff, they don't have that at all. They wear like high heels and bikini. It doesn't look attractive at all. This bikini thing with these high heels and these really dark tans. It's like I don't understand what makes that attractive at all. I like a woman with a little meat on her bones. Like especially the big boobs. Uh, uh, Wearing clothes, or whatever. You need a workout outfit like a tube top or a sports bra or something like that, or anything. Not this. I mean, I don't know. Just maybe I'm just old school or something like that. But all these women, just don't know how to dress. Or these what's put in front of us is supposed to be beautiful. Is really I don't get it. I don't see it. I don't know. So that's basically my thoughts on but okay. So anyway, let's lead into the topic of size versus body weight versus strength and stuff like that. Um, everybody is different. And but most people seem to, of course, the first thing is what you see. You see your shape. When you and then a lot of people just gauge that based on the scale, what the scale tells them. Now, scale has its place, but you have to understand something. Um, you could go to the gym, like, and make do a lot of stuff that gives your body shape, and no real tremendous difference in the number on the scale. For example, I guess we don't want to take somebody that's too heavy for this example, but let's take like a 175-pound man, right? Let's like uh, close to, I don't know. I was gonna say 5'10", but it really is somewhere. It's not important. The thing is, if that person hasn't worked out right in a long time, then their muscles are not going to have any shape really. So the person like starts working out, and it might go up 5 pounds or even down 5 pounds or something like that. But the whole idea is like, doing all the exercises properly, your body is going to change shape. It's going to get in shape depending on what you do and how much knowledge you have of what you do. I can do lots of different types of exercises, but right now I prefer a lot of the heavy compound movements. Instead of trying to etch in this type of detail work with light weights, because you know that really doesn't amount for me. I don't get as much as dense muscle from doing type of etching in detail movements. Let me give you an example. Like, let's say front lateral dumbbell raises with like 10 to 12 to 15 pounds in each arm going up and down. I think, oh, okay, well, I'm etching in the detail on my front shoulders. The separation between the traps and the shoulders. And the anterior. The I don't know all the scientific terms, but the muscle, the head of the separation between the shoulder and the traps. Going like this. So that's an exercise, but it's not a mass builder. So you know, I go to myself, okay, but that's cute, doing that, but you only got so much time, and energy in the gym, like doing tons of these lightweight etching in, detail or shape exercises. Um, that doesn't help me personally that much because I'm naturally thin, and I'm there for not really well. Power is important because power for me equates to strength, and strength equates to mostly like that thick density for muscle. So but it's not about being a power lifter. I don't go in there trying to go, okay, well, let's see if I can break a new PR today. I don't go for PRs, 1 rep max, because that's not really the mass builder. That's 1 rep. Sometimes I'll test my strength with a couple reps on something, and it's like, all right, well, that's great, but let's get back to sets and volume. Like tonight, I did, exaggerating, if I did 15 sets of squats on the Smith machine, 15 sets, okay, of like, you know, anywhere from 10 reps to 15 to 17. But I don't. Like, I watch the average Philly, they're on there. They take so much time resting between each set, like 10 minutes. That's ridiculous. I said, no, no. With me, of course, got to catch my breath and everything, and walk around a little bit. But I know every couple of minutes, all right, it's time to go, dude. Let's put on some more weight, or let's take some weight off. And that's what I did. Basically, what I did was I start with 235, 235s on each side on the Smith machine. And I go up from there. Set number 2, I think I went up to like 50 pounds on each side. Whole idea is to try to get to my max as fast as I can, or how much I can hit, like 5 reps with. Then take a good amount of the weight off. Then do another. So it's like I'm going like this over 15 reps. Set number 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, for this, but I'm trying to. And then the fifth one, and then work my way 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, then a little lower, but not all the way down at the beginning. 10, 11, 12. So like you see, I'm packing my energy and my intensity level. So then, and at the very end, I'm like little bit, at the 15th set, you should be really worn out. I mean, um, actually worn out the whole way through, but I just keep going. Um, at the very end, I basically finished it with like, I started with 35s on each side, maybe 50, 50 pounds on each side, like, or 45, so it just, I patterned, like some what I think I can handle for at least like, 10 reps, 10 to 12. It was hard. I mean, leg work is a bitch, but just get comfortable. I listen to Tom Platz talk about this, and doesn't mean I copy his like that, because when you lock out, putting pressure on the knees, I just don't like it. Um, so I try to work around shit that I think, can be worked around. And I told you I came up with a very unique exercise with the dumbbell on the shoulder. I've never seen anybody do that except me, holding on to something. It takes all the pressure off and you puts all the pressure in your quads and your ass and your fucking your hams and everything. I've never seen anybody fucking do it, and all the pressure off the lower back. I guess it might be pressure because you're holding a heavy weight here, but you know what? I do what I feel like works for me. And I came up with that idea because I saw like Frank Zane's leg blaster, and I was like, you know what? I could do this shit on my, I can do a variation of that without that machine. And it's putting my arm out, holding something to take all the pressure off the knees, or whatever. So all the work goes into the upper, quads and your hams. I don't know what the other side, the sweep of the leg and the ass. That's really the magic to it. Remember, I'm not that powerful. You know, these guys talk about their crazy squatting thing, and I'm like, dude, I'm not that strong. What I did was when I got to set, I'm trying to remember what I have on there. I had on each 60, and then 17. So I had 87. I remember because I had 70 plus a 10, 5, and a 2.5 pounder. So I had 87 and a half pounds on each side. So whatever, 160, 175, I guess, plus the bar. I equate the Smith machine bar to 45 pounds. I know it's probably a little bit less than that because of it's being held up by hooks, but whatever. So I'm trying to think if I hit 4 or 5 reps with that. And then I said, you know what? I remember I put 335. I put another 35 on there. So I had 335s on there. I call them, those are the middle donuts. There's the baby donuts, the quarters. The middle donuts are the 35s, and then the three donuts are 45s. I don't, in my entire life, I've never been able to hit the three donuts. Um, in all my life that I've ever gotten. I remember I joined a new gym, not there anymore, Fitness Factory, and I said, and I was at my strongest. I just joined there, and I was like, you know what? My friend was working out. I said, let me fucking, his ego. Let me show him, right? So I put 350. I warmed up. I said, I remember I was doing sets of 225 two wheels, and they're fairly. I could get like 12 reps, I think, with that at my strongest. I said, let me fucking put on 3 wheels here and see what it fucking feels like. So I put the 3 donuts on there, and I put it on my back, and I stepped back, and I said, fuck, this is heavy. Now, not on a Smith machine. I was free bar. I was on an Olympic bar. I stepped back and I put the 3 wheels on there. I held it on my back. And I was like, wow, dude, this is what 315 feels fucking. There's a huge difference between 225 and 315. Half reps. I was able to do, well, not really even half reps, maybe quarter reps. I did 6 or 8 quarter reps. I put the shit back on the bar, and I never did it again. I mean, I remember how heavy it was. Like, fuck, that's fucking heavy. The 3 wheels. But I did have it on my back. Now again, I'm not. I'm not a strong person. I'm not built for power. I'm a thin, was it ectomorph? I'm not designed for power. So some people are, well, 315. That's not really a lot. Why? I've heard even fucking Arnold and whatever Tom Platz say anybody who's 15 is good weight. So that's coming from fucking legends saying that. But I couldn't do it. It's just too much. I know if I would have went down with it, I wouldn't have been able to come back up. It would have been just too much for me. And that's at my strongest. I think I never really, I just I wasn't I didn't I'm not one of those guys. I don't have a lot of experience squatting for years and years and years and years. I guess if I would have done that, um, I'd be way far advanced. I'm just not. So it took me a while. Then I got into it, and I'm trying to think how far. I think I hit 275 free bar, not Smith machine. I think I did go down and come up. I have to look at my records. And then up till now, I've just been doing the Smith machine squats because I feel like it's what I think is a lot of weight, and at least push my limits. So I went up to, like I said, I had almost what I have 87 and a half on each side. So like the 235s and then 17 and a half halfway to a third wheel, third middle donut. And I did like 5 reps, and I said to myself, you know what? Let me throw on the third one and see. So I put three 35s on there on the Smith machine, and I said I just want to see what it feels like. I knew I wasn't going to go down and up with it. I was already 6 or 7 sets in already. There's no way. So I did put it on my back, unhooked it, and it was fairly heavy. It was really heavy actually. Let me just humble my ego, because after doing so many sets already, so I hooked it. I put it on my back, and I didn't even attempt to do any half reps or quarter reps, and I hooked it. So the thing I talked about this before. You're going to be strongest the earliest in your workout after you're warmed up, and after you've worked your way up, like whatever exercise you're doing, I guess. Like it all depends. Like you see, you can't itch. Like when I do tricep work, you know, after my warm up, and then I'll start with tricep with the ropes. I'll do a couple sets of like rope pull downs, and then over the head. Then I'll go onto the Smith machine to close bench press for the tries. Then I'll go heavy. So it just depends. Like shoulders, a couple sets on a machine on the shoulder press machine for dumbbells, and I go like what I would consider moderate weight to as heavy as I can go within like 3 to 4 sets. I don't have to spend all this time warming up because I've already warmed up in the other room. Then I've done a couple machine, that you're warmed up. Like that's, the whole idea is to try to lift as heavy as you can the earliest in the workout, because that's when you're gets. That's the whole idea. So remember that if you get anything off of it, like you're going to be your strongest in the earliest of your workout after you've warmed up, and you're toward the end, you're going to be worn out. You should be worn out by the end of your workout, because if you really work your ass off, you're going to get tired. As a human being, Arnold goes, "Well, I spend 5 hours in the gym a day." Don't believe everything. You have to understand that dude was a celebrity even back then. He might have been spending 5 hours in a day because he was taking pictures, signing autographs, doing a little bit of exercise here. Dude wasn't a normal person. Okay, you got maybe training people. Who the hell knows? Like what his agenda was, because he was fucking pissed as fuck. Back then it doesn't matter. Even when they brought him here, he was like already, you know, catered. Joe Weider's boy. Like it's fucking pushing that guy with everything. So he wasn't lifting straight for 5 hours every day. Okay, there's no fucking way. They show you the videos of him working his ass off. Yeah, that's true, but even he knows, that hey, but, Tom Platz talked about this. He said he only did legs twice a month, or once a week, which is very hard to believe. But if you watch his intensity, it's beyond insane. So, what he's telling you is. But again, who knows how much shit he was using? I mean, dude's legs were fucking. They call him the Quad Father for a reason. I mean, he was fucking articulate, knowledgeable person, understands everything about frequency, intensity, focus, the mentality. I mean, I don't think there's anybody that I've ever heard that explains it better than Tom Platz. I mean, he's like just so in tune to the mentality of like what it takes to be an Iron Warrior. Like he knows. I mean, his explanations are fucking. They're just on point. I mean, so what's so really again it all depends about what you're thinking. Well, I want to be big, I want to be strong, I want to be have body weight. Yeah, but you know what? You can only be the best version of you. Um, well, I want to be big like Brock Lesnar. It says, you don't understand. Brock Lesnar was he 6'4"? So yeah, I remember he was up to close to 300 pounds at one point. You can't be. There's only one Brock Lesnar, and that's him. So you have to understand you can only be the best version of yourself that you can be, and you also have to remember that these examples, these guys are for the most part, they're on shit that they're on gear, they're on stuff. If you don't know that, your butt hurts, wrong word. Don't get crushed by well, I'll never look like nothing because I'm not using steroids. Hey, most people don't work out. Number one, most people don't work out enough. Most people don't work out hard enough. Most people don't take it seriously enough. Most people don't put their bodies in an anabolic state to where you can even take supplements over the counter for the shit to really work. You just don't, because it requires so much out of you. It's kind of like it has to be like a part of your life. I mean, think about it. It's like, let's equate this to, I talked about this, I was a chess player, and as much as a friend of mine knocks me for my national championship, basically intermediate level, that I co-won. It was a big, what I went through to get it. And most people believe other players, coffee potsers or whatever, a lot of these people, they belittle my achievement, but fuck them, because they don't understand, and most of them never made any achievement. They just know how to talk, that's just a until you've gone through the fire and done it, then you're basically just sitting in the crowd. Like let's say you got your ass kicked in a boxing match. Well, and then people say, "Oh, you suck, you suck." Yeah, those people, for the most part, they've never competed. They've competed, but the reality is either you have or you haven't. Now in chess, they have this thing called a provisional rating, which it's exactly that. It's not a real rating. So until you really competed, and proven yourself, your whatever you say falls on deaf ears. It's really something that there's nowhere to go with it anyway. So, I've had a lot of these kids. They're very hungry. They study, the ones that really compete, because they know if they show up to a tournament not prepared, they're going to get decimated. And that's what happened to me. I thought, well, I play a lot online and stuff, and I could bring that mentality to the tournament. And all of a sudden, I play against these kids that were starting to kick my ass because they're all booked up in a long game. Opening is all book, and I didn't know you got to study all these books to understand every possible opening to lead in the middle game. And these kids, that they're like piranhas, and they're fucking really good. It's not like playing in a park or a coffee shop. There's a chess federation because there's serious players. I've competed against it, but I mean, I've seen grandmasters. I've seen, it's like literally like pros. The behemoths. Like in chess, I've seen them. So it's But again, that's that level of craziness. That's how far it can go. The dedication, the time, the effort, the energy into something like that. A lot of those kids, they grow up and they get really bitter about it. So I put so much time into this, and I get a certificate that says I'm a national master. It doesn't equate to very much in the real world. That kind of energy, computer programming, coding, are not fucking chess. Well, the idea is that it shows that these kids can be, they're educated, they're smart, intelligent, because they say most chess players, they're able to calculate their tacticians. They're able to beating, when you lose your ego. Oh my god, when you lose, can you imagine playing a sitting playing one game for almost 4 hours and then losing? It's like, man, I've seen it. It feels like slugfest, 4 fucking hours, one game, and then it just goes down as a loss or something. It's like, fuck, man. So you compete like that. You kind of really have to know what you're getting yourself into, and know, um, can you handle that? Like a lot of people, they just cannot handle hellacious beatings like that. That's what it is. I mean, that's my experience and dance and stuff. Saturday night. So that's why I said, where you got to be in the level of competition that I was playing. They were very good. I mean, they're not like these park potsers. I mean, they're real serious. Some of these guys during the week, they work in like you know you know computer programming fields or whatever this is, and they take it damn serious. I mean, they will tell, let me get back into it. Uh, I haven't played, and their expert is literally that. I mean, an expert in chess, oh, beat the crap out of like an amateur player. There you have your strong amateurs, A's, and then you got your lower class A players, B players, average C players. But then you go up, it's like master levels. I mean, good. Um, and then the question is for what? You get destroyed by a life, man. Imagine all the way up to the kids that started when they were 5 years old or even younger. They put their entire lives into it, that became champions. So you're talking about something that requires an immense amount of study and discipline and everything to get to the upper top tier. Unless you're in the top, you know, it's definitely in the world. So it's not like anything else. I mean, this one kid, that Hans kid I keep talking about, and he's 14 now in the United States. I looked it up, I was curious. Nope, nope, and he's like 17 already. So it's like his dream of being a the world champion is becoming quite apparent to him, I'm sure. And can you imagine? That's all he knows his whole life. His whole life. He's almost 18 years old, playing chess his whole life. And realize that, you know, he's badass. Don't get me wrong. But you know how many world champions there are at one time in chess? One. It's an illustrious achievement. I mean, it's Mr. Olympia or something like that. It's there's only one at a time, even though they got the classic physique, the classic Olympia, whatever. No, it all like it's all, there's a big following to this movie, and the people like Leonardo DiCaprio. I remember he was so pissed off Titanic, and rightfully so, because the director, the Slit was nominated for Best Actress. And then the music, I think it was Celine Dion, where my heart will go on and on without you, I'll probably get a dog. That's I see you in the so the whole thing, the movie was nominated for whatever, dozen Academy Awards, and the star Leonardo DiCaprio is not even nominated for Best Actor. So he made a great point. He goes, huh? He goes, how can either be her? How could she be point? His, it was a sham, like him, whatever. So these awards, and he did not show. Eventually, but it was really just that snub. Yeah, that he should have been nominated. Yeah, of course. That was this nonsense that he was not nominated for best at that time, and that's what it is. Like as I mentioned, just like the thing, if they give you the Intercontinental belt or what is now, it's like the U.S. The WWE when they gave him the U.S. title, and then I was the night before the biggest night of his life at the start. The reason why is because the universe made it happen. The universe made it happen. Yeah, I was involved in, I told you, I've 25 years going to the gym. I'm not saying I'm at John Cena's level, but at the time, you know, I was at my strongest, I was at my biggest, and I'm standing in the hallway and he's standing there and he came to me. Okay, so the thing is, it's like I want you to remember something. This is like a very important point in life. If you become, it's not that people will notice, but the right people will notice. The right people will notice. That's what got me on television dancing in little contests, school street dance contest. Led me to get on Soul Train in the late 90s, or close to 2000, whatever, late 90s, 2000. It wasn't like I built it over, the early mid 90s. One thing and it led to another somehow. It led to up where I got my knee 60. I've never been able to, but I was on there. And then and then there was a cable show on. I missed that one. I wasn't on that, but so really, I keep that's um, 3 times featured over a long period of time. I went to it, and there was nobody in this audience. I was like, and so I started to see it. Go, no, no, this is not about natural. These guys are, come on. I saw it for what it was. Then I would go to the NPC shows at the that, and that's another animal. Like those, when you talk, then those you can, it's like they're huge, these people, they're definitely, they're upset about it. I mean, these guys have great genetics and taking stuff, and I was like, no, dude, you stage with these fucking guys, you're a clown, like they're behemoths, even at that level, they're fucking huge. Yeah, forget it. I mean, for a show, there's really no life to be had, and I think it's good to invest in things that could lead somewhere. Be a little well-rounded, like Arnold talked about. He says, "Well, look, dude, got a loan for the real to start, for real estate. He was doing bricklaying work, construction, Frank building, and then taking acting classes from 8 p.m. to midnight. So all that shit going because he was young. And I think like you don't have to have four things, but you're kind of wired that way, like I am. Okay, well, because eventually things kind of your whole life is gym. That ain't gonna go nowhere. You That's his whole life. He just goes to the gym. Yeah, he's couple biceps. He doesn't know what else to do with his life, I guess, and that's all he does. I used to be that too. The gym was like that's all. It was like eat, train. And I thought like, wow, I'm gonna be like this and that. In my mind, I know it's gonna sound kind of funny, but I said, well, you know, Brock Lesnar or John Cena, or I'm gonna be huge like these guys. You're not gonna be huge like them. You're anywhere near these that are taking shit. You have to understand the difference, you know, between the two. Okay, that's the difference. To get blown into oblivion. Okay, that's the difference. Because I met these people and I sized like a whole, but then when they went, you got arms like Big Papa Pump. They're giving these compliments like they weren't. That was, that was not bad. Um, and then Mr. Cena was like a fucking baseball mitt. Okay, I remember he gave a show. Okay, I could lift till you know what? I don't can lift till your face turns blue. You are never, ever, 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 or ever. I don't know if it's enough times going to be like that. There's no fucking way without the shit that he's taking, and I know exactly what he's taking, and it's not worth talking about because I'm not going to go there. So it was like amazing, to see this, to learn about what is, you know. But the thing is, it's not like all or nothing kind of thing. You have to understand what I said. Like so, you're not even going to get close to your quote unquote natural potential. You're not even get anywhere near there because most people just not. It takes. It's like the same thing with chess. Most people are not gonna fucking grind it out studying in this. It's why. Sounds like so easy. It's like becoming a doctor. It's the same fucking thing. There's a reason why. There's how many people get bachelor degrees, right? How many people have a master's degree? And how many people in the U.S. population have a doctorate degree in any field? Less than 2%. Say, how many people start a doctor program, they don't finish? They say 50%. I think that for whatever reason, falling out or whatever. I just, what do I need it for? Title is cute, but same thing with the chess master. It's a title, but you're looking at, yeah, it'd be nice to have kind of thing, but you don't understand what about the best in the national championship that I won, that I tied in the under 1500 section, in Las Vegas. That's like comparing, like my title, what I won. That would be like going to Mr. U.S., big one, right? The NPC, the top amateur contest in the country, and you win that. It was the weight divisions. Or tying, like winning or coming in second or winning like my weight class, and then getting absolutely decimated in the overall. Like not even no, there's no okay. I admit that. Like I would get comparable to what I won. It was hard as fuck. I'll never forget. I'll never that tournament as long as I live. That last match against that fucking little kid prodigy. I'll never forget it. I think he retired after that match. It was too much for him. And I don't feel bad. It's just it's battle. It's chess. It's competitive chess. It's everything, and I just wasn't in it. And because I'm not willing to commit kind of energy commitment to something is too much. It really is. I would practice maniacally. I had a membership at this place, practice, and I practiced, but